we talked about this picture. Easton, tell me what this picture symbolizes.
I wasn't here last class, but the talking stick is just like letting one person talk at a time. So you can be a good listener and everyone can listen to what someone is saying. And there's no like conflicting talking. And basically, so everyone can pay attention to one person.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. Great. Even if you weren't here, you did a good job. The talking stick, remember, it's that idea where you get that stick and you get to hold it until you're finished saying everything you want. And one of the things we talked about is one of the biggest emotional needs for people is for people to understand them and people to listen to them. And that's like a huge gift you can give to somebody if you're a leader or just a human being, is to lead other people. So as just a reminder of this, I said the talking stick reminds us that before we lead, we must listen. Leaders seek to understand the perspective of others. Before they communicate their own point, they show empathy and ask good questions. As a result, they earn the right to be heard. In James, it says everyone should be quick to listen, slow to speak, and slow to become angry. And when I was thinking about this today, I was watching the chapel video that's going to happen on Thursday, and I was kind of laughing to myself because what Chase Wiggins is going to talk about is the same thing. So I'm like, gosh, I didn't even think about this, and this is what we're talking about. So let me ask some of you the question about what are some real bad practices of listening? Just to remind us, take a minute. Winston, what's one bad practice of listening?
Like focusing on something else or doing something else like in the middle of when someone else is talking.
Absolutely, that's a good one. Malia, what's a bad practice of listening?
Not paying attention to someone, like looking away when they're talking.
Yeah, absolutely. That drives me crazy. Grant, what's a really bad practice of listening?
I don't know.
Okay, we'll think about it. Well, then let me ask Jack. Jack, what's like a bad practice of listening?
I mean, I would just say like no eye contact, just like not paying attention, looking away, being focused on other things. So
yeah, absolutely. Yeah, that's good. So we talked a little bit about this idea of how not to listen to people and all those things that you guys just mentioned. We talked about judgmental listening, jumping to conclusions, selective listening, only listening to kind of what you want to listen. I was saying that we used to say a lot like this is, I hear you saying this, and then people would speak back to you and not even say anything close to what you said. Drives me crazy. Impatient listening, interrupting, egocentric listening, paying attention to what you will say, like focusing more on how you want to respond rather than really listening to the person. Patronizing listening, not paying attention. Stubborn listening, already making up your mind before the person finishes talking. Again, thank you, Chase Wiggins, who's going to talk about all this on Thursday. All right, let's talk briefly about some good practices of listening. Josh Beckett, what do you think? What's a good practice in listening to other people?
I think just like paying attention to what they're saying and commenting on things that will like further the conversation.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. Phoebe, what about you? What's a good quality of a listener?
Like interacting when they're talking and interpreting what they're saying.
Okay, interpreting. Well, are you saying that's like interpreting, meaning asking questions?
Yeah.
Okay. All right. That's good. We talked about those things. We talked about being present. You guys talked about paying attention, providing feedback, showing empathy, like that you actually care, asking good questions, and responding appropriately. I read through the things that you guys read about your own listening and what you think you're good at. A lot of you feel like you're pretty good listeners. And why do you think, James, why do you think people are more inclined to talk rather than listening? Why do you think listening is so difficult for many people?
I think listening is more difficult for many people because you kind of want to get like your own thoughts out instead of like listening to others. Like it might be like a selfish nature or something like that.
Yeah. Hmm. Absolutely. Totally the selfish, sinful nature of who we are. Um, what's an example of, it says, what is one example of how listening worked to your advantage? Sia, let me ask you that question. What did you put for that one?
I said that I think my friends appreciate when I listen, and I think friendships are just generally stronger if both people like actively listen to each other. So yeah.
Absolutely. So in friendships, that's good. Joshua, what about you? What's an example of how listening worked to your advantage?
Um, I understood my friends better when I listened to them instead of just like talking to them, I guess. And like we built better relationships and we dealt with issues better.
Yeah, that's good. Let me ask, do you think that, Tyler, let me ask you, do you think that it help, well, just give me another example of how listening worked to your advantage.
Well, I think like listening helps you understand and engage more thoroughly with the speaker himself, and it kind of helps you like demonstrate maybe body language that kind of shows the speaker that you're paying attention to them, but also that you're paying attention like to yourself and that you're engaged and actually learning or listening or taking in what they have to say.
Yeah. Yeah, those are all really good. One of the things, the last thing you see on the slide is you kind of said, here's what you're good at, true or false. Do you display empathy? Do you have body language that shows that you're attentive? Do you seek to understand? Do you ask relevant questions? Are you open to others? Those are all things you can think about when you go and listen to others. And I hope, like, when we talk about stuff like this, you're like, does that have anything to do with me and what I do? When I try to listen to others, do I need to work on anything? You need to give me a minute because I'm going to give you a chance to listen to one another right now. I'm going to put you in your breakout groups. If you weren't here yesterday, I already put you in a breakout group. So your group assignment is to listen to each other, go back and go, what did we talk about yesterday? Your job is to come up with a virtual service project that you can do in class that we'll do next week. Today, you guys came up with some ideas. Today, I want you to work a little bit more on getting those ideas ready and figuring out what exactly you want to do. So I need you to just give me a minute so I can manually assign you guys to a group, and then I'll go ahead and move you those. So do something on your own for a second while I fix this. All right, I got 2 more groups to go. All right, a couple people just kind of cut out, so I'm not sure what that means. Then they might be back and I'll assign them to your room. So again, your goal right now, you got 10 minutes. I need you to come up with maybe kind of your number one target. You can have one or two, and we'll finish figuring out. So you might, when you get into your groups, need to do a little bit of research. Like, don't just go, I think we might do this. Like, no, I need you to get a little bit more specific. What would you do in that case? All right, so I'm going to open the rooms. If you need to check back in with me, you can leave your room and come back to the main room and say, Mr. Gallagher, we don't know what to do. We're so confused. But I can tell you that all the groups so far have really found something that they could do online. All right. Okay, here we go. Go for it. Okay. Tarba, you got to join your group. Tarba. just 20 more seconds. So just get ready. Whoever's going first is group one. Just kind of let me know what you're going to do. Just wait a minute though. Let's wait till everybody gets back. Four seconds. All right. Okay, here we are. So let's hear from each group in these last few minutes, and then we're going to solidify this tomorrow. But group one, what was your idea or ideas? That's Phoebe, Josh, Raj, Amanda, Tevin, and Malia. What did you guys come up with?
My idea was to make a series of presentations on social media, and like this would bring awareness. And for my organization, which like right now is particularly swamped with like administrative duties, and so I wanted to like make presentations bringing awareness about their cause and how to sign up and stuff. And this like once again like would help the organization as well as the people that I help specifically.
What organization is that?
Second Harvest Food Bank.
Oh, okay. All right. All right. I love it. And that's something you guys definitely could do in class. You could, get the information. So that's a great example. Okay. How about group number two, which is Sia and Katarina and Winston and Amber and Bella, who's not here.
So for our thing, we found this organization where you can write to healthcare workers, and we thought maybe we'd set a goal of 20.
Great. What's that organization called?
Mentalhealthsf.org. You send it to this hospital in SF, and then they distribute it for you.
Awesome. Great. So tomorrow, maybe you guys could talk a little bit about more what those letters would look like and what would be the content. Great. Okay. How about group number three, which was Frank, Owen, Grant, Atarva, Easton, and Tyler?
So we decided to for everyone to write 2 to 3 letters about just checking in on people. We're gonna try to send them to.
Hey, hold on. Hey, Tevin, you're not muted. Say that one more time, Tyler.
Yeah, so I said I think our group we were still discussing, but we were planning on writing 2 to 3 letters to a senior home and sending them, but we're still figuring out which senior home we want to send them to. But everyone's gonna write around 2 to 3 letters, so that was our plan that we came up with for now.
Okay, so maybe tomorrow what you can do when you guys have group time is find a couple of those locations and then just kind of reach out. The other thing too, I don't know if any of you in here in this class, if you have a grandparent in a senior home, that would be a great contact. Okay, and here's another idea, okay, because there's no idea is a bad idea. I think of my own mom, who's kind of alone in her house. If somebody from my class wrote her a letter and said we were thinking about her, or maybe somebody else in this class has a grandma or an aunt or uncle in a senior home, and somebody could write to them. So think about that as an idea. I don't want to tell you what to do. It's your idea. So just something I thought of while you were talking, Tyler. Okay, group number 4, which was Josh, Beckett, and Pratik, and Brooke, and Jack, and Sally, and Ella.
For our idea, we kind of decided to try to do a virtual game night or just talk to senior citizens. So we're trying to figure out if we could do a Zoom and maybe project a Kahoot, and then they could play along or do something like that. We haven't quite found what home we could do it with, because a lot of the homes, when we went onto the page, they're just come to our facility. So I think we have to kind of reach out and be hey, we're trying to do a virtual game, would you be willing to, or are we allowed to do it with your seniors?
Okay, and that's something you guys could do tomorrow. You could all take a different senior home and write to them, and then maybe another somebody else in your group can start planning what that might look like. So I want you to divide and conquer tomorrow. Give everybody a different role of what they're responsible for as you do it. All right, that is great. Okay, group number 5, which is Faith, Kyle, Maggie, William, and James. Who wants it for that group?
We came up with something like we'd create a presentation about the issue that we're trying to tackle, which is from Maggie's organization, which was climate change.
Okay.
And then post it on like our stories or social media areas to raise awareness.
Okay. All right. Great. Okay, those are all some good ideas. I think now what you'll have to do when you gather tomorrow, I'll give you a lot of time, a little bit more time tomorrow to kind of come up with the details. And tomorrow, I'm going to want one of you to volunteer for your team. So when you do a project like this, everybody's got to kind of divide and conquer. Somebody needs to be the one who kind of types up your idea and what you're going to do, and then you'll put that in the assignment. And then I'll grade that for your whole team. So you all don't need to do that. Just one person from your team will do that, and we'll go ahead and do that service project. So I encourage you to, just think about what you're going to do. And then if you get tomorrow and you're like, oh my gosh, this idea is just really not going to work, then maybe, kind of punt and see about maybe something else that you can do. I like the letters. If you can't find a senior home for your letters, think about other people. Like I talked about my mom, maybe there's other people in the class, grandparents. Say, hey, I am with your son Jack at Valley Christian and your grandson, and we wanted to write you a letter or whatever. So I don't know. It could be whatever you guys think of tomorrow. And that is kind of our plan. All right. So we'll be back tomorrow. We'll have more time in the groups to kind of solidify this, and then we'll kind of finish up on listening. And that's our plan. Good job, you guys. Great ideas. It's going to be really fun to kind of say we're serving as a class, which is my hope. And we'll do this once or twice before the end of the semester. All right. Okay. Have a great day. I'll see you later. Take care. Bye-bye.
Thank you.